enough schools, some of them will be, I'm getting to throw these away.
You can see them down there and they won't.
Like, I've caught-
That way you've been catching them on.
I've got like 6 or 8 walleye at Deer Creek on squid.
On what?
Squids.
Well, I thought Skip was gonna be back, we'll see if he makes it.
Oh, yeah.
If they're hungry, they'll hit.
So they were suspended.
Yes.
I was fishing pretty shallow. I was fishing in probably 15 feet of water.
I catch most of mine around 18 to 20, 24.
Yeah. Water right now is so low. Where they normally are, there's no water.
Oh yeah, you don't have to write your name or anything.
I
Unless
went
the present to win.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now there's no pressure, so once it opens back up, it should be good. I'm open. I want to go to Powell really bad, but
I just brought my boat down there. I live in dry storage.
oh yeah.
Deer Creek doesn't make people ever really walk. No, I take out. Oh, nice.
Almost. You're here. We'll be starting in just a couple minutes.
Looks like the 4th of July.
That's when you hit the ball. I'm trying this.
Yeah, we'll do everything.
We're going for Patriot.
Jump that in the water, you'll catch something. Take the kids out, you'll put that in the water, and catch something.
That's how.
I have a lure, I couldn't find it, I wanted to bring it down here, I made it.
Now it's.
Ugliest thing in the world.
Does it work though?
Yeah, to kill her.
There you go.
I made this. And I had these 2 old guys in the boat with me, of course I'm 80 now.
Yeah, we need to get these guys.
We had to fire them. I said, I'm gonna put a secret weapon on. Anyway, I said, I'm gonna put that on. What am I supposed to do? Just hold on to it?
Hang on to it,
Very, very complicated.
There you have it. I even pulled up the
Stand
there. It's
They
really
named
informal
it.
this time.
Everybody's got to take it.
Yeah, we can even kind of huddle. That's not a bad idea.
Well, we got smoking.
Before you go around.
I was in Loveland, Fort Collins.
You got smoking spots.
How's the fishing there compared to here? Better or worse?
Pardon?
How's the fishing there versus here?
You know what, I've been such a drought out here, I've been 3 years, I can probably count the fish on 2 hands that I've caught.
You good?
Different life.
Everybody get a ticket?
But I fish tournaments in Wyoming, Cabela's, Ashford, walleye.
Whatever you win, you're gonna give it to him anyway.
Oh, she's got a fishing pole now.
I'm sponsored. That's-
Well, I hope whoever brought dinner has enough for
I
everybody.
got one in the car. The hand was too big and I couldn't reach the guy that. My name's Jared. What's your name? Robert, who's this?
Okay,
What's your name? Connor? It's my grandson's name.
thanks.
That'd be an easy one. Anyway.
Okay, guys, hi, people. Thanks everybody for joining us. Glad you're here. Nice to have this, good of a turnout. So it's what's likely to be the first annual show and tell. We'll go into that, and then we've got some club business to do. So how do we want to do the show and tell? Just have people stand? You want to stand where you are and just talk to the group and show your stuff, or you want to come on up to the front with your gear? What would you prefer?
Just stand where we are.
Yeah, stand where you are and talk loud.
Well, tell you what, if it's okay, I'll get mine out of the way.
I did, Rain.
Some of this is gear, some of it is just stuff I wish somebody had told me before, and some of it's, disregard. If you're a boat owner, it might help. Whenever I go to Harbor Freight and I need new tie-down straps, The old straps or the other pieces that I need, I take a loop and tie, I always get bright orange, so that I can tie it to the prop of my boat when it's being transported. I have a friend whose boat was rear-ended by somebody who wasn't paying attention. So anything that adds a little more visibility on the prop while you're transporting it, you know, I wish somebody had told me that, and I know that he did as well. I brought a bunch of top waters. And I gotta say, some of what I'm saying is, I love whopper ploppers, but there are off-brand whopper ploppers that are like half the price of the whopper popper brand, and you can get them on Amazon. The thing that I have used more this year, I think, than anything else, have been some fairly heavy Ned head jigs. Yeah, those hooks are sharp. So I don't know if you can see, but it's a fairly heavy Ned head. And then the old standby Yamamoto, either single or double tail grubs. 176 is a great color. And the other color that's awesome is this real chartreuse, which is 156. Down at Powell, this last, about 2 weeks ago, casting that exact jig with a highly visible, the water was a little bit murky, with a highly visible highly visible chartreuse here, and picked up a 26.5-inch walleye, which is my personal best. It made great fish tacos.
You had starvation?
No, we were out.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is we've got some video that we'll share maybe when we get to the fishing report part, because we got into a great boil. In the boil, we were throwing heavy casting jigs. So I mean, cast masters are good, but I got 5 of these off of Amazon. They're like cast masters, but they're not. And I got all 5 for about the price of 1 or 2 cast masters. So again, you can find some really good stuff on Amazon. And this is a brand I don't think they carry here, but these just killed them in the boils. And the only other thing that, it's not fishing, but for boat owners, I highly suggest it. Amazon, $25. It's a car air pump. It's 12 volt. It's digital. I now own, I think, 1 of every car that I own. They work really well. You set it to whatever air pressure you want. I mean, I've come off the lakes at Powell and other lakes and look at and a boat trailer tire is low. So you can set it to set it to whatever air pressure you need in the tire, and hook it on, hit the button. It shuts off when you get there.
Did you get an Arbor Freight?
No, I didn't. I'm sure they have them there. I actually bought this. It was $25 on Amazon. And they have them anywhere from like 23 to 30 that are 12 volt. I opted for 12 volt because my truck doesn't have a 120 outlet the way the new Fords do. Mine's an older truck. So anyway, those are just a couple of things that I have used. Again, that the net head jig, both dragging along the bottom and casting to shore, more this year than probably at any time. It's been really successful. All right, next.
Keep your stuff out though, because after we all talk, we might want to come look at it.
Yeah, all right, come on up. I'll just set this up here.
I'll go next. This is for you, Badger.
Introduce yourself, Roger.
This is I'm Roger Namalka. I keep a pontoon boat at Deer Creek, a dry dock. They let me keep it there free, and because I do handicap people. And I traded in a bass boat for my pontoon boat so I could get more wheelchairs on my boat. But it's getting to the time where I need to get me a fishing boat again. If anybody knows of a 16, 17 footer, I'll pay up to 12 grand for a pretty decent boat. And anyway, and keep the pontoon boat for my friends too. So anyway, this is for you, Badger. On one of your videos, you said that how many of us got stuck with buying one of these things that are crap? You have to tie the line on it, right? Well, I get all my information off YouTube, and some of it works. This works. This is you put these around the Cinco. They're like a little the rubber.
Yeah.
All you do is just put them over that.
Then clip.
But one thing, if you use you want to use 10-pound test or better. And I wouldn't use, what's the other nylon? Braid. But 10-pound test or better works like a charm. And they're all they are is they come in these packages. They're for Cincos. You know, you put them around a Cinco and you just hook your hook under it, and you don't lose your Cincos. Another thing I got is I was fishing at Deer Creek last year with my wife, and we could not. I'd find walleye and they wouldn't bite. And it got about noon. And I always keep about 3 lures that I make, and I'll try them when things are really slow. Anyway, I made this bad boy, and we caught 11. And I'll even tell you where. We could not get in the walleye, and it was about noon, and I went south of the island at Deer Creek. It's kind of flat, and we were in 22 feet of water by the buoys. My gosh. There's about 100 feet area they were staying in, and every time we go through there, we'd get them with this. And you can take a picture of it. It's a smile face. I was doing about 0.8, and they really hit it. And then, secondly, I take out a few people bottom bouncing. I don't like to. It's got to be family. They can cause you a lot of work and tangles.
Yeah.
So rather than use these anymore, I use these straight ones. I seen it on, was it Dan? One of the sounders, Dan talked about it, and man, they stop you from getting tangled. Just straight bottom bouncers. And you can order them with has a little guide on it. And you can order these through Cabela's, only the place we could find them, but they sure stopped me from getting tangled. But you're welcome to take a picture of my thing. We caught 11 walleye, and it was noon. So
That's a good day.
and then there's just one thing with this. It's got I like floaters with my smile faces, even my spinners. But anyway, so gold's the color at Deer Creek. I'm tell you, gold works. And so I take these other ones, these other floaters, and I get a spray can and I paint them gold. And the gold really works. They chewed up the one we got all the fish on so bad, these went back to the original color, orange or whatever. I think it was orange and green, but anyway, try that one at Deer Creek. It's a good one.
We just went up to Deer Creek. I can't believe how low it was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I'll have to show you some pictures when we get to the picture part.
This is for you,
Thanks.
baby.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Because we've all got stuck with these, right? They hide this up inside the package.
So you can't.
You don't know whether they're a continuous ring or not. So get some of those and you can salvage them.
Thanks. This is it's like a little Cinco rubber.
Yeah, it's just an O-ring.
That's all it is an O-ring, but it's where a lot of people just put a hook through a Cinco and they rip.
Yeah.
But if you just put that underneath the O-ring, you can use them over and over and over.
Wacky rigging.
Huh?
Wacky rigging, sometimes that's.
Yeah, that's what exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm done.
Let's go next.
I'll go.
Awesome.
Introduce yourself.
Robert McCabe from Cedar Hill. So this is my son Connor. We go out of trout fishing quite a bit. Something easy for the kids to do. We have 7 kids, and so it makes it fun. So I brought one of my poles. It's just I got these on Amazon for $60. Long kind of reel. Use them on a line, 20-pound test. And it's just the Eagle Claw company rod. I like them more than my nice expensive rods, honestly. And this is what we use a lot of the time when we're catching trout. We went to Schofield on Friday. I think we caught like 7 or 8 rainbow trout, 18 inches, so pretty good size. And then we caught probably 30 plus cutthroat between 18 and 18 inches. But yeah, it's just a Dodger. This one's sober. I brought a few different ones, bigger ones if you want to go a bit deeper. If you don't have downriggers, these are a great option. And then the colors that I like the most is going to be green, pink, and orange. I feel like those are the best colors that consistently produce time after time. So that's what we do. We like to troll. I started trolling at 1.5, then I will up to like 1.9. And just go back and forth. So that's what we do. We have pretty good success to it. So.
What do you usually tip it with? Do you tip it with
Oh,
anything,
sorry.
or-
Yes, we use either pink or green maggots, carbide maggots.
Can I say something?
Awesome.
Go for it.
Yeah, my name's Jerry. I signed up in this club a year ago, and then I had some bad things, and I dropped out, but I'm back, so.
Welcome back.
This is a club, no, it's really not. It's a tiller extension for an outboard motor. I use it a lot, and I make them actually. I had a business 14 years ago. I sponsored Cabela's Master Walleye. I made landing nets. I got one in the car, but I didn't think Scheels would appreciate me bringing it in. It's got an 8-foot handle. And you can extend it in about 1 second out to 12, 14 feet, whatever the net is. So that fast. And we sponsored them. But anyway, this is tiller extension. What's nice about it, it's kind of a last minute, there's a ring that slides up on this. And when you push that up onto the handle of the motor, you can hang from it. It will never come loose. And the other thing, you can, I usually go like a 4-foot handle, and it'll extend, so you can go anywhere in the boat, change the speed.
Oh, wow.
Kind of weird looking, but nothing holding that on. You can't pull the spring off either. It's a real effort. But I use it all the time. I sold some. I sold quite a few of them actually when I was living in Colorado. This is kind of beat up, but they work. I love it because you can put it behind your back for float tubes. You can put it behind your back, and it will bend this way and still change the speed. There's nothing to them if you want to make it. But they are really, really efficient, and they don't break. That's a Worcester paint handle. That's why I never did anything with it. So anyway, that works. I've got the net. I couldn't bring it in here. All I had was an 8-foot handle, 6-foot handle, but it extends to 12 feet plus the net. And when I said it extends in about 1 second, I have a friend that actually won $10,000, one big fish. And he couldn't pull it in right away. With walleyes, you get a couple chances. The third one, he's probably going to get off. Big one, you better get him in. His partner up in the front of the boat threw the net out at the last minute. It went out about 10 feet, and fish ran right into us. He just couldn't turn quick enough. And he pulled it in, and they won. Big fish. So that was up in Wyoming. I like to just tinker on these two things I came up with, this and that. But the net, I make them for stream fishing too. You can handle like this, and you can drop it down with the net instead of reaching down trying to hold it up. Everything's based on this handle. There's squeegees for cleaning windows in RVs and scrapers. Just the handle changes is all. So anyway, that's what I do. This was a last minute. I can only tell you about some of the stuff. But I have these lures, they're called Ugly Betties. These two old time, I'm old now, so it doesn't matter anymore, I can say it. we were in a boat fishing and they hadn't caught anything. And I said, I'm taking the secret weapon out, and it's just a piece of aluminum with a split shot in it to hold it in the water. But the way, the motion is really unique, and I had 3 trout in 5 minutes in the boat. One of the guys, about 2 years ago, this is in Colorado, Loveland Fishing Club. He won first place the last minute with the biggest trout. He said, I'm gonna pull this out. They laughed at him, and he pulled in 22-inch rainbow with it. So I'll have it down because I use it. I just couldn't find it. I'm cleaning my boat out, and I couldn't find the damn thing tonight, so I couldn't bring it. But anyway, that's it.
Thanks. Tell me your name again.
Pardon?
What was your name?
Still is. Jerry. Jerry Pally.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I haven't been here. I just couldn't. I haven't done anything to speak of in a year.
That's all right.
Life happens.
I go fishing and back it up and go home again.
We up?
You wanna be?
Go for it.
Okay, so I don't know how much the club is into ice fishing. Is it a lot? Okay. That's kind of me and Cole's jam. I love boat fishing. I love it. Ice fishing is what we're probably best at. What we probably do, we ice fish every weekend. There's ice on the lake. Probably the biggest improvement that I've seen taking my mountain of gear, because I take way too much stuff, is getting rid of my gas auger. My gas auger was a big one. It drilled fast, it drilled nice, you could punch a bunch of holes, but you always had fuel smell, you always had carbon on your hands. I mean, everybody knows the scents and fishing don't really go together. Getting a battery operated drill auger improved our fishing immensely, lightened up our load substantially, made it so we could each, we have two different kinds, made it so we could each have our own auger, and we're not, before if I wanted to move, I had to walk to his hole, grab my auger, go, and then him the same thing, and we were zigzagging. So we got 2 of these setups. They're light enough that we both drag them. We leave them connected, but with that 5 amp hour battery, on like 6 inches of ice, we can drill like maybe 30, 35 holes. So I usually carry 1 extra battery. He carries the battery on his and 1 extra battery. We have never, and we move a lot, we have never ran out of juice on our batteries.
Is that just a regular drill?
It's a regular drill, but it's their heavy duty one. You need to have a battery with a minimum of 700 pounds of torque, or a drill head with the 700 pounds of torque. These have 1,200. I experimented this year with, this has had 1 season on it. So our old one is K drill. The one that he uses is a K drill. K drill's 8-inch auger actually drills a 7-inch hole, which I like. I don't need an 8-inch hole. I haven't found a fish yet, but I haven't been able to pull through a 7-inch hole. So you're moving that much less ice, which is not much easier to turn 1 extra inch of diameter on a hole is substantial when you're moving that ice out. So I like the smaller hole. I like being between a 6 and a 7, because the 6, we have caught fish that you'd get them through, but they'd be bouncing off the hole. You don't want to do that. So this one is an 8-inch, and so the K drill has 2 blades on it. I like chipper augers. I don't care for shavers. Shavers are really temperamental. Like if you hit anything that's blown onto the ice that's frozen into it, if you hit anything, a shaver will just hit it. Chippers are really aggressive. They move a ton of ice in a hurry. This one only cuts with 1 hand. So the K drill has 2. I wanted to try this one just because I think you get a better hole, a cleaner edge, and less torque on the drill, so you're using less battery if you're only cutting with 1 head versus 2. They're both awesome. I mean, that weighs like 2.5, 3 pounds, and the drill is about that too. So I went from 20 plus pounds to like 5 or 6 pounds total for this. And We leave them out, I never disconnect it, like it's just disconnected now, it stays connected when we're fishing the whole time. The batteries get cold, they never die. This lithium technology is just incredible, and so it allows us to fish more when we're fishing it. Instead of chasing the auger down when we have to move or whatever, they're really quick. I can spin a hole in like, I don't know, a 6-inch hole, you can spin it in about 8 seconds. This one throws ice like crazy. It'll throw ice about that far. The K-drill just slushes it up around the hole. So there's plus and minuses to both of them. This Jiffy one, I think I prefer the K-drill. I like the smaller hole. This is a true 8-inch hole on this one. But either way you go, I see, like on the internet, I see auger battles all the time about my auger's faster than yours, mine does this better. Just go to this technology, and all of them are awesome. There's Eskimo has a pistol bit that's the same type of technology. Any of them, DeWalt has one, Milwaukee has one, and Ryobi has one that will turn these bits. So I think it's just take your choice. They're all awesome. Every one I've ever used is better than any gas auger I've ever used. And we cut a lot of holes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we each cut 1,000 holes a year. And his auger's on its 6th year, same battery, same drill. So we haven't burned one up yet.
And you got a drill. Like-
Yeah, people always claim that, oh, this is our auger drill. We have drills for home, but yeah, if you ever needed a drill, it works good for that. And they're a hammer drill. You don't use the hammer setting though. So when you set these up, the only time I've ever seen a problem that somebody's had with these is they use the clutch. So you want to make sure your setting on this is on the drill direct mode, which if you're on a clutch, you bind and then it just slips and the clutch just gives. You want to be on the first speed. You don't need to burn the hole on your high speed on the drill. You want to just be on the low speed and let the thing do its work. You put very little pressure on it. If you put too much pressure on it, it will bind and you'll end up with bruises on your ribs. That thing will just wrench you. But
You have to have it.
yeah, you need to have that. I don't know if you could do it without the cross handle on it because you can't, your wrist isn't strong enough, it'll just wrap with it. So we drill, we pin it and just punch it through. But, so low speed, direct drill, and then one of the nice things too is usually we're starting in the dark and all these have a flashlight on them now so you can actually see what you're doing. They're super nice because like if you do fish in a tent, we don't fish in a tent very often, but if you do fish in a tent, you set your tent up and go in and punch your holes right where you want them. There's no more like trying to step off how wide your tent is, drill your holes, put your tent over and realize half your hole's covered by the edge of the tent. You get your tent, stake it down, go in there, punch your holes. The shavings throughout to the side, you pack them on your snow skirt, wind won't blow underneath them. It works great. There's no exhaust fumes in your tent. You're not smelling anything up and they rip. That is the way to go if you ice fish. It's about, all the bits are about 200 plus or minus, and then the drills vary. You can get them on sale at like Home Depot for a couple $100. And they usually come with 2 5-amp-hour batteries. And I mean, if you drill 7 holes when you go out, you're probably fishing the wrong lake. You know, it's too many holes. But I'll let you talk about your fish finder.
Well, I don't have much to say. The only 2 big things is I changed from the original battery that comes with it. I don't even know what they were, but they're like 5 pounds. I bought one of the lithium ion batteries, and it's like a pound. It's so light. And then the other thing is having the float in the puck. All you have to do is just throw it in the hole. You don't have to mess around with it too much. And then my dad has a 7-inch fish finder. I just have the 5. This is like a TV screen.
They work pretty good. We fish them in the hole we're fishing in. We usually don't drill a separate hole. The pucks are so easy just to reach down and grab when you hook one and pull them out. We don't usually fish a separate hole than the transducers in. The settings on those are super critical to get right for ice fishing. Like, use entirely different frequencies and stuff, ice fishing as opposed to boat fishing. We like to have our cones really wide on the transducer cone. So we'll fish 2 poles all the time. Usually our technique is have your transducer in the pole that's at the highest level. So it's in the top of your cone. So you can fish in 30 feet of water, have your pole that's not got the transducer in the hole on the bottom, and have the pole up to as high as you want, 2 feet under the ice. And if you're in that, if your transducer's in the hole that your upper pole is on, you can always see both of your lures, which is critical. We usually don't fish like a jaw jacker half a mile from us. We usually fish pulled poles and just fish different stratifications in the water. So we'll find that the fish will either come through like at 6 feet and on the bottom, and we're able to hit both those. And if you, like, we don't even look at our poles, just watch the fish finder, you know when one's there. If it's not there, it's not gonna bite. So it's like a video game for us. And it's there. I think a fish finder is, if you're ice fishing without a fish finder, you're at a severe disadvantage.
Where do you ice fish mostly?
Wherever there's a tournament. We like to fish tournaments.
Oh,
So
you go to Fish Lake then?
we did. I don't really care for that perch.
You don't care for it?
Usually there's a.
You
Well,
don't want nothing perch.
honestly, we don't really love catching trout, but that's mostly what's around here. So if you do it with a tournament, it kind of gives you a secondary reason to go fish for trout. If there's not a tournament, we'll like hit crappie on Pine View or pre-fish a tournament. It's really critical. Those lakes get to where if you're using what they're eating and you know it, every fish that comes in will hit. So it's pretty critical for a tournament to have that figured out before the morning of the tournament. And so it works out good for us. We've done well on them.
Your turn, Katie.
Okay. What's up, guys? I'm Katie Badger. Badger's my dad. I just used the Scheels Ned rigs. They were freaking sweet. Probably every single fishing trip I've used this and I caught a fish. And it's just so simple. You just cast, let it drop, just reel in and jig it, and then boom, it hits.
What kind of fish are you catching, Kate?
Usually walleye and smallmouth fledgling. They're really nice, and they're small, but they're fun to catch. Sometimes we catch bigger fish, but I usually like using it on shore better because if you just go deeper, then it's harder to keep it in a like better like rate kind of how you keep it bouncing just the right way. But using it on shore, I don't think I've ever used this and not caught a fish. So. And also we use like this bang spray. We call it stank, and it works so good. Like they just love it. Like it's the best. But yeah, that's what I use.
She does really good with those. Yeah, it's a net rig head. And actually, the Z-Man ones are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Because they're super stretchy. So the Yakamoto ones, they don't last quite as long. But these ones, like, well, these ones are kind of melted together. But I mean that thing is like, you can use it all day. And so I've always bought these, but actually, I kind of think that they sold Scheels their special sauce because these are like almost half the price as the Ned rigs or the Z-Man, and the Scheels ones are just good. So.
Badger, where have you used those at? Deer Creek and Schofield? I mean,
The first place she ever used
Starvation?
them was Deer Creek, and she caught her first walleye there.
No, it was Lake Powell. That's where I caught my first one.
Yeah, Lake Powell.
You like that color, huh?
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, this one. So orange and red because it's crawfish, and it's just the way they fall. Like it's stupid. It's this little turd looking thing, but it works great. I mean, just the way and just hopping it, and she's got it down where she can just hop it just right, and then she just lets it sit, and then hops it again, and they just suck it up. They love it. They can't leave it alone. And we went in May this year, and we could not keep every cast
I
smallmouth
probably
bass.
got 20 fish just in one day.
You put any scent on it?
Yeah, we put the scent on it.
What kind of scent do you use?
crawfish dang. So it's the crawfish kind of goes with the whole thing. Because they actually did it. So I was looking at it, and they did a study where they had lures that looked like real crawfish, and so they were using those, and they were like, well, let's try some different variations. So they cut the arms off of it, or the claws, and they just had some of the legs on it, and they tried it, and the fish hit it more. And then they cut everything else off and just had a straight stick, and they hit it even more. And they're like, and that's how the Ned rig was born. So
they kind of stand up like a crawfish does
Yeah.
to protect himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Dave, that's what I was wondering, are you using a half of a Cinco? Is that what you were using on yours?
No, I was using a Yamamoto grub, and it behaves the very same way, and that's exactly what I was doing at Powell. And Dell, this is what I was showing you, that we, cast to shore, watch your line, and you can tell the line will slack up when it touches the bottom. You're casting towards shore from the boat, right? And then move it a little bit. And watch the line and let it hit the bottom, and then move it again a little bit. So every time it does that, it's jumping up, it's jumping up in the water a little bit, and then coming back down and standing there for a second. And then I move it again.
So, but the grubs are not buoyant, right?
No.
They sink. So these will float. Does yours stand up like that?
Yeah, it does, just because the Ned jig.
yeah, he's got that. So these aren't as heavy. You don't have to use as heavy a one if it floats, because it'll position that way. But with the heavy one, that'll pop you up even if it's not.
Takes a special
What weight is that?
they're rounded.
Is that 8?
I think it's only, yeah, I think it's an eighth or a quarter.
Looks like
Probably
an
an
8,
eighth.
maybe a quarter.
But also just where the string attaches to it, it's not on the tip. Like some of them are hanging down, and some of them the tie is this way. But I always get the Z-Man Ned rig.
How big were the walleye you was getting when she said she caught 20? Dang, eaters.
Yeah, they're good.
Hey,
You casting North Shore?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Casting North Shore, or you fishing from?
She likes fishing from shore, and she hops it in. But you usually get it when you leave it alone, so you hop it, and sometimes you'll be talking to somebody, and then, oh, there it is.
Katie, what's the best color? Is this it?
Yeah.
Is it the, yeah,
The red sparkle, the orange and red
that's
sparkles
good.
work really good.
Everything that.
And then you also get the watermelon ones. the
So
green
what
pump-
head are you
green
using on
pump-
this?
Huh?
What head are you using on this? What head are you using?
The Z-Man Ned rig heads.
Okay.
So it looks, I'll take it off soon. It looks like that. It's got a little keeper on it, so it doesn't slide off too.
So, Katie,
Those are really
are
fun.
you waiting for the slack, or do you actually fill
So usually I just
Yeah,
let
Aaron,
it
maybe
sit,
the way-
and then I usually reel in until it starts tensing, and
Not
you
very
can see,
different. Mine's
kind of like
slightly
the reflection
bigger.
from the
That's
water,
all.
when it tightens, and usually that
Really
makes the
similar.
bite, yank it hard, if it's nothing, then just keep on doing it.
I would
But
basically
usually
to go
the
with
fish-
you, show me how to.
Say that one more time about when you have a bite.
So usually when you reel
I
it, the
can't,
line, like usually it's loose, and then you tighten it until you can
I've been
bounce
out
it.
here 3
And then
years.
usually you see
Okay,
kind of like a
horse
reflection
fishing,
on the
and
line.
comes
that's-
out of that. I signed up. I
Yeah,
signed up
just-
for
just
this.
tightens up the slack before it
Had
pops.
that out the last-
And then
Give you a couple of
there's
these
slack.
and you can try it.
Tightens it up.
It's in his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
How many times do you typically pop it before you cast?
Again, I would,
I'm not,
Yamamoto's.
they're pretty,
That's kind of
I mean, like
reflection,
sometimes I
I mean,
can,
they're nice and soft, but they don't.
usually it's just like one and then two, maybe
Yeah.
three.
Just enough to get it.
Yeah, I've had
Roger, where's she fish from the shore there?
These are salt.
We haven't fished from we haven't fished from the shore. Most
Since
of
it's
that's
salt,
been
blood is salt, so they think that it's.
Lake Powell or.
Starvation.
It's just like, it's just,
We haven't had some like
I know, that's a Yamamoto 76, go ahead.
We were casting to the shore.
Towards the shore?
Yeah.
On the flats? On the flats?
Kind of where you were.
South of the island, by the buoys?
Or even more on the west side. We, like where you kind of cast against the
You guys
wall
have a
there,
boat?
where
Yeah, we have
some of the faces of the mountains are.
The
And
top, you
then
want to be
pass
on
the shore out, just
On
drop
what?
it.
Yeah, sometimes you just drop it right down.
I got a tractor, 1600.
I use those as a dead pole. Sometimes I've got two poles, one of them on, just dragging along the bottom, so I'm slowly moving the boat, and the other casting the shore.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'll go. My new favorite thing is
That's
this
official.
bait buoy. It is the best way to keep your, and this holds like all these different things. So it's basically just it's like a Lindy rigger, but the best part is it does this. So when I'm ready to pull off, I can do it with one hand. And I've got my extension. When I'm ready to put it back on, I can just tighten it up and reel it right back in, and it doesn't get tangled up. It is awesome.
So you then just rig that onto like a rod holder? On
So
your...
it comes with the mount that you can hard mount to it, but there's actually Scheels. They don't sell this, but they sell the adapter for the rod holder. So I brought this in to show you that they sell that. So they used to sell this, I think. But this has been just awesome because I'm not, especially if you're fishing with kids and stuff, grabbing all these off and getting them tangled up. It's really easy to get them tangled up because they're all.
Use it just for your harnesses, or do you use it for like splits and stuff too, or?
No, I have one for when I go kokanee or trout fishing too, and you just go like this. Oh, there's like a little lock here. And then you can just pull this out.
Trade the spool.
So you can trade out the reel.
Yeah.
So that goes in the rod holder?
Yeah. So I brought it. This slides into my. This is just a Scotty head.
Yeah.
And it slips in just like that. And the best part is like everything is in the same spot. I'm notoriously bad for just throwing stuff places and I can't find it all the time. And so like the nice thing with this is I always put it all right back when I have this, and I have my scent. It has perfect holders for the scent, and it holds them like they have it perfect, so you can do different kinds. And you can even take off and go jet somewhere else and it won't go. This one does a little bit. This is my crappie.
I was thinking, well, all the time.
Tight, but the plastic bottle's sitting there great. Same thing with
I sit back in the boat and watch you guys
like
fish and learn something.
power bait and stuff like that will fit here too. They can fall out the power bait ones because they're hard.
To tell me.
But this has been great. I have my line cutter and
I'm almost
my
always ready to go.
hand wipe, so it's like my perfect little station. It's all right there, and it's on the outside of the boat, so it's never where I'm like working with fish or doing anything. It's all out of the way. So this has been awesome to not tangle stuff up. And I do a lot of trolling, so I have a bunch of these different things, and I used to have to unwind them all the time.
Yeah, language and things.
Yeah, we got a lot more.
I mean,
It's a lot cheaper, because we could just put them back on and get them back out really fast.
We would teach.
Yeah, so this just slides out like that. And they sell extra ones that come with like a little carabiner. And even if you don't have this thing, this thing's cool too. Because the carabiner goes like this, and you can do the same thing while you're like fishing in a lake. You just clip it to your vest and you pull them out like that. So it's been really cool. I thought it was an awesome gadget. It's called
Yeah, I'm always
bait buoy
I'm
is what it's called.
interested in it.
But this was game changer for me because I was figuring out how to store these forever.
So when was the scope of the other day?
So that was my
Boom.
thing I was gonna show.
It was a.
And then I use this slides in
When I said
have
about this,
a
I
rail,
think that is true.
a rail system that this slides in.
This is my go-to bag for all my trolling.
Cool. I'll learn to fish trout.
All right, I guess I'm up. I'm Rob Larson. So I learned about this one on a YouTube video that's pretty cool. How many people do down rigging? Who double stacks?
I don't have my hearing aids, so I can't-
Okay, I learned on this one here. This is for the double stack. Make this rig up here. This is an 8-ounce weight. You got to use it with the line counter reel. So you just put the carabiner clip around the cable. You lock your line counter reel, hook it to the line, and then you use the line counter reel to drop it down how far you want, then you lock it. And this loads up the rod.
How do you lock it?
With the line counter reel.
Oh,
You have to use the line counter reel to say, okay, I'm going down 20 feet, then you stop it. Then it loads it up. The other thing that's cool about it is if you catch a fish if you catch a fish, you can this will just drop down to the ball. You got another one rigged up, you just put it on, you don't have to bring up the down rigger.
So you should be dropping.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
You should have done it most people.
And then the other thing, because I like to troll, people like jigging a strawberry a lot. And
you know, you're using a vertical type jig. So what I've done with them is I use I take a line, I tie on a treble hook, and I put 3 beads, and then I use an egg-shaped weight for the nose. I put that up in the front, and I run the line through the front of through the jig here. And so instead of, you know, when you're trolling, you get more of a natural type movement, because a vertical jig comes up out of the top. So, but I catch a ton of fish out these. Any questions?
Yeah, I wanna see, so you put a weight on the inside?
Yeah.
Is it just a?
Get big cuts with those things, don't you?
Yes.
It's a treble, I like that.
Yeah. You do better with treble hooks.
So what is that? This is the weight?
Egg weight, like a half-ounce weight with a hole in it. I just use my little threader thing to hold it with the
Cedar?
line through.
You know where Alpine is? You know where Alpine is?
What's that?
You know what Cabela's is? You know what Cabela's is?
Yeah, yeah.
Great pumpkin that you
Not
use.
typical
that's at?
worm or a gold bag.
Yeah.
The one in behind?
But we get, you know, strawberry right now, we're getting 30, 40 fish.
I just,
They love the white.
Honey, walleye, and bass.
yeah, that's cool.
That's the things I was gonna show.
That's just
Yeah,
one.
that's cool.
Is everybody on?
Oh,
great, no, great.
This stuff.
Put your address in a GPS.
Okay.
Right, that's all.
I'll get your phone number.
Yeah.
You got plenty.
So, yeah, I would go.
So I
Never need a
primarily
ride.
actually river and stream fish more than I do boat fish.
Got the-
If I want to keep fish, I'm actually high sticking with a fly rod, but using a worm.
You fish downriggers?
Really fill it on a fly rod. Second, I do spoons, lures, and then third, I fly fish. So if they're not hitting spoons, then I'll go to fly fish. So if I go to Janine, like we'll fish maybe 6 to 8 hours. If I go to myself, I'll fish 12 to 16 hours a day, and I'm on the river all day. Everything goes in this. It's got to be as light as possible. So this is what they call the Simplify. My friend's friend actually developed this. So this has a clamshell case. It can separate, so you can make a lighter case if you want to. So it's got like a magnet and your clippers. This one's really worn, so but you can fit these trays in and swap them out. So for flies, lures, whatever you want to use for that day. And then it's got tippet that comes out of here, different weights. Then it's got this tray where you can put all your, like, you can do flies, but I put all my split shot in here. And then it has little compartments for hooks, and so I take this everywhere, even when I'm on a boat, because it already has like a lot of the stuff that I need. And then it fits like a backpack, so I'll put like a knife on there. And then this will separate. You don't have to have the backpack, but these loops are nice, so you can have a net. And then, like I'll put my water, sandwiches. To make it really light, what I'll do is put hard cheeses, salamis, fruits, nuts, like a high energy food, but I can compact a lot of stuff in here, so I'm not packing a cooler around. I want to be tracking miles and miles of river and be light as possible. And I'll put like some rubber gloves, some toilet paper, a flashlight. How many of you use this? So these work amazing. It's like a metal soap bar, and you just wash your hands with it and with the water, and the fish scent comes up. Sometimes if I lose a lure, I just got this at like an auto store, and I can pick out a lure if I'm off the ground.
Magnet.
Yeah, magnet. So, and then this is so I use this kayak fishing, but you put the line through that little slit on top, and then you close it. And then this goes down your line. So if you put tension on it, it goes down and it will pull up whatever you're, so I'll pull up branches and stuff.
So if you've got a lure that's snagged.
Yeah, I'll lower the snap. Yeah.
And the magnetized?
No, this isn't magnetized.
It has a hook on
Yeah.
That's genius.
But yeah, so that's kind of.
Save our bacon and couple of.
Oh yeah, not only does it save our bacon, but I can sometimes get. I've gotten $50
I've tried it.
worth of
Snag on
lures
the
some
line.
days just finding other people's lures. So
Pull the branch.
yes.
You do a nice thing, so it's the big stuff, I think, you won't come.
Yeah.
It's good to go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm like, he's been on my boat with that, and I have all of my boat stuff, and he can get everything that I get out of my boat out of that little bag every time. Like I'll have like a whole bag of them, but he has like 2 of like everything in that bag. It's crazy. In that little clamshell thing.
Yeah, and I'll use it for ice fishing too. So I just swap out the trays, whatever I need.
Anything else to share before we go on?
I think we're good.
Oh, they opened, I don't know how many of you have dogs? They finally opened up Deer Creek and put a dog on your boat legally.
Can you really?
Yes, you can. It just come out about 6 weeks ago, they changed the law. So you have to keep him on a leash to your boat. I've been wanting to take my dogs on my boat 7, 8 years there. I'm so happy.
That's cool.
Now you can't get your boat on the water and take your
Close
dog
enough.
out.
Yeah, we fill up Deer Creek so we can go. Club business. This is the time of year where we need to start, according to the charter, there is a club charter, that we start talking about what activities we want to do in the coming year and setting up club officers for the coming year. I'm not going to be able to serve next year. Family health situation is causing me to, I can't guarantee that I will be to all of the meetings and all the activities. I just can't. So, the folks in this room, the fact that you're here, you'd be awesome officers, anybody here. The questions that we need to have as we talk in the next month and 2 is, do we want to do a tournament next year or a series of tournaments? For those who are newer to the club, it used to be that 5 or 6 times a year we'd have the club tournament, just an intra-club tournament. And we would, biggest fish, we emphasized walleye. And what we found was that the whole purpose of the club tended to focus towards the tournaments. And in fact, when we opted to, for a period of time through COVID, to not do tournaments and do the meetings as we've been doing with some of the, you gotta admit, we've had some really good speakers. Really good topics, really good walleye seminars. But when we shifted that way and went away from tournaments, some of the people who used to come to the club and were really active went away because they only wanted to fish the tournaments. That was their whole purpose for being here, was to win prizes. And I respect that. They're great fishermen. But the decision needs to be made, and it's good either way. Do we want to do tournaments or not? If we don't do tournaments, it's really simple to be an officer. If we do tournaments, we need to have a tournament director who would then help decide where we're going to fish and when and do that. So that's something we need to talk about in the next weeks. Please consider, would you be willing to spend a few hours a month as an officer of the club? We definitely need to find a treasurer. Dell has been doing this for some time and needs a break. And that's just, if we're not doing tournaments, then it's just a matter pretty much of gathering the dues at the start of the year and writing out checks when we send teams off to tournaments. Not a high time, not high serious.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. In fact, all of the officer positions are pretty easy and don't take an awful lot of time to do. So please consider it, just, think about it. And I gotta tell you, most of the people who are officers now were drafted. So if you get a call from us, answer. You might be being drafted.
Just ruined a surprise attack.
At least we'll make a suggestion. And again, it doesn't take an awful lot of time. And this is a good group. If you're willing, that's awesome. We'd love to have your inputs. Tonight's thing was really good. Badger came up with this idea. We had something else planned that we're now going to do in the spring. May I tell them a little bit about it? There have been other other clubs, bass clubs, etc., in other parts of the country, who will sometimes do a show and tell with their boats. So what we'd like to do sometime in the spring, as soon as, and Scheels is going to help us with this, probably over in the north parking lot, we'll pull over on Tuesday night here, bring your boat. Show us your boat. Show us, how your boat is set up, what you like about it, what you wish you could change, and we'll show. So it's like a cruise-in car show for your boat. And when we do that, we're probably going to be like grilling some burgers and dogs and stuff in the parking lot. Okay. So these are some fun activities that the club has never done before, and it's because new people came into the club with fresh ideas of let's do this and let's do that, and it's awesome. And Badger, we're really lucky to have you, and we're so glad that we've got people here who are willing to assist and keep the club going. So again, what we're going to do next month, that will be a topic of officers. Then in December's meeting, we'll take a vote on next year's officers. January, we'll set that's the other thing we need to start talking about. Usually into January and February, one of the things we're going to probably do in February is a club raffle. As you recall, we sent teams to Catch a Cure with a bunch of money to put into a raffle. Well, Ben Allen and his team brought back some prizes that we won in that raffle. What we're going to do with those, and if you have any gear that is valuable enough, you want to donate any gear, just don't donate junk, please. Because we used to do this every February, and somebody would always bring something that they knew people would go, oh, I won that, In fact, one piece of gear came like 3 years in a row. Whoever won it brought it the next year. It became the running joke.
Ben almost won a dog in Catch a Cure.
Was that?
Ben almost won the dog at Catch a Cure.
Dog?
Yeah, their grand prize of the raffle was a purebred lab.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Nobody took it.
Nobody
ended up
wanted
taking
it.
it back.
Oh.
And they threw the name out there
I've got a dog door that's this big, and no lab is going to fit through that.
I took a picture with Cole and sent a
That's
text to
awesome.
my wife that we won it.
She let you come home anyway, huh?
Yeah, she did. She got over
I
it.
got the mystery tackle boxes, and I don't ever use plastic bait, so I have 2 big tubs of brand new packaging.
Exactly. I have a landing net. Now, it's not nearly as nice as the ones that you described. But I've got a nice big landing net. It's brand new. I've never used it because when I bought my boat, it had, I can't remember the name, I think it's Ego. It's like you described.
Don't mention that name.
Well, I've loved mine.
I'll tell you a story about that.
I've loved mine, but again, it's an extending landing net, extendable landing net. So I don't need this other landing net. It's brand new. I won it at one of these raffles in February a couple of years ago. So again, that sort of thing is what we'll probably be doing in February. And what we usually do on that is it's time to pay club dues anyway in January and February, and then we usually do this raffle where you buy a raffle ticket for $1 or 25 tickets for $20, and then we have the raffle. Now, because we're doing it at Scheels, we may need to know what you're going to bring and have you send a photo of it, because what we'll probably end up doing is not carrying all that new equipment into the store. We'll probably, when we do the raffle, we'll hold up the photo of what is being raffled off. All of the gear will be in our trucks in the parking lot, and after the raffle, we'll go out to the parking lot, and if you have this, then there's your gear. So I think we can keep Scheels happy that we're not shoplifting anything and not run into the hassle of being accused of taking anything out of the store that, which worried me a little bit tonight.
Can I make a suggestion
Yeah.
about an activity? Don't ask me to organize it. You can ask me to work on anything with anybody. I will participate, but I am not an organizer. I just can't keep my head together long enough. But I'd be glad to help. But I was in a Loveland Fishing Club in Colorado for quite a while. And it wasn't the Loveland, Berthoud Fishing Club. Anyway, we had a Wounded Warriors program. And we would actually, the Loveland Club too, we would go work in the stores, Bass Pro Shop or something for a day, run a register with bags for them. And all the proceeds would go to Wounded Warriors. The other thing we did that was just absolutely the best thing is we had a fishing outing. They were lucky enough to have a lake, private lake, but you can go anywhere. And everybody that had a boat had at least one Wounded Warrior in the boat. And I had mine from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock the next morning. He wouldn't refuse to go home. But he had a great time. And then it was too late, so he spent the night at my house.
Well, and we actually, the club has assisted in the past with the Utah chapter of, I think, DAV, Disabled American Veterans. And they, in the past, have done something really similar where you register. It's almost like,
I've been on them.
yeah, again, it's a similar setup to Cast for Kids. Cast for Kids is where you take developmentally challenged kids fishing. Same sort of thing at the same place. At Soldier Creek is where they did it. And we took out veterans and their wives and families, whatever, fishing.
Yeah.
And so we have done that, but that's a great idea.
We had a whole day with them. They were there.
Yeah.
We had breakfast for them. We had lunch, dinner, late night snacks with my guy anyway. He just wouldn't go home. I don't even know where he lived. I didn't care. It was absolutely, it was rewarding and it was fun. And then there was a guy, I called him an old guy. But I can't say that anymore because I'm 80 this year. He must have been in his 90s. He had 3 striped bass on at one time on a fly rod. And he didn't know what to do. They were going like this. The fish were going all over, the rods bouncing like this. So the guys all surrounded him and gave him a hand and get it in. And it was fun. It was just a good time.
Yes,
One thing I would love to see for this next year is I'm sure there's a set of people here in the club that don't have boats, and then part of us do have boats. The awesome thing to maybe pair people up, give that opportunity for those to go fishing out and boat.
And that is absolutely, yes.
That's been one of our goals. We haven't executed very well on it.
We tried a couple of times this year, but with people's schedules, it turned out that we were only gonna have like 1 or 2 boats. And those are the times where we were gonna go to and then do a picnic at Willard. And then at the last minute, we basically head count of who's coming turned out to be like 4 people. But yes, that was one of the things that when we were running tournaments, we actually had some tournaments were buddy tournaments if they were far away, and others were they pair you up. So it's like I'm a boat captain, and that's something we're going to be doing.
I think that'd be awesome.
And we toyed about that idea as well here, and we tried a couple of times, and I was able to take out a couple of people on my boat, but yes, we would like to do that this coming year, and it was talked about being a regular feature at the end of every meeting, where we say, okay, here's the boaters are going to list their names over here. You want to go, it's like, boat captain may know what day they're going to be able to go out. So just come on up and put your name and what day you're going and where, anybody who wants to go, come along, is welcome to come. We only ask that you split gas.
Yeah, if you're, I would love to get some of that going a little bit more better, even
Oh,
though I think.
I'm happy to do it, so.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you to help
And,
with that.
and the other thing is that I hope that we can make that a regular part of things, is because if we've got like 5 boats and we don't have 5 non-boaters to match up, then I won't take my boat, and I'll hop on your boat and learn things from you.
I think that's awesome
Yeah,
too.
learn anything from me, believe me.
Because sometimes it's nice that things, you know, you don't, both have to.
But again, it gives you the option. I mean, you know, any one of the boaters can say, tell you what, I'll hop on your boat, or you hop on mine.
I have a 16-foot tractor, with a 40-horse motor on it. Not fancy, runs great. I can't handle it anymore. So if anybody ever wants to go fishing and you want to ride along, but don't have a boat, I mean, just call me. I'm ready to go anytime, but it's frustrating because I don't have the mobility I did have. I know I look like a track star coming in, but, you know, a retired track star. But seriously, I can't launch it, pull it out. It's all that stuff, you know, and
No, I agree.
I'd be more than happy, and I would go, heck, I'm ready to fish 2, 3, 4 days a week, if it presents itself, but I can't do it alone, so I need some help.
And I got one good arm, me and you can do it.
Yeah, it would be, you got shoulder surgery, we can talk about it.
It's healing up, but,
I've had a couple of them
I
on
really
this
like the
side.
name. Hey, do you fish at night? for
Pardon?
walleye? Do you ever fish at night for walleye?
Yeah, I was up at Starvation, I was supposed to be in that big tournament up there. I mean, I jumped on that and I thought, man, this is for me. But then my kid can't make it till Friday night, and I'm free fishing all week. And then I had boat troubles, I had to back out of it, you know, all that prep. And I've been to Starvation 3 times now, and still looking for a walleye. So if anybody wants to go to Starvation while the weather's still good, I'd be more than happy to furnish the boat. Just tell me what to do.
How's the water level at Starvation? Does anybody know for a program?
61%.
Quite a bit of water for launching now?
Oh, yeah.
Well, launching's not a
Oh,
problem,
okay.
but it's.
I did go to Starvation last week, and we caught crappie, 9 walleye, 20 bass.
When do you wanna go?
Under the bridge. Under the
Highlights
bridge.
of the bridge?
Under the bridge, you know, the
Oh,
bridge where
pylons.
traffic goes.
That's a good
It was
spot.
raining, we had to go under there, and we got.
That's a great lake to fish for
That's
walleye.
what's down there.
Great
I was
lake.
wondering, I've seen stuff down there, I've never been able to get anything from under the.
Well, it got pounded.
There's some humps under there, and they're around the humps.
I fished with a guy that was a member of a private lake in Colorado. He may still be. He was my partner in my business, and I had to get rid of him or whatever. He was my wife's son. Anyway, we caught 150 walleye in 4 hours.
Where at?
This was a lake in Loveland,
It's like going
Colorado,
to
private
fish.
lake. 150 walleye. He put the rod down and, I don't know, 100. I said,
That's what we need to do, we need to get our own private lake, guys.
Right?
Every cast.
Waiting up to do
Throw the
this.
jig on the rocks and the trees, and every cast, fish come in.
That was $100,000 per member.
I catch the walleye once or twice a year, accidentally on purpose.
Well, again, you mentioned night fishing.
Yeah,
So you want to go night fishing?
Oh, night fishing,
Green light fishing for walleye at Starvation has been really fun.
yeah.
And they're nice when, you know, you'll catch 50 or 60 walleye in a night.
Really?
But, you know, they're.
Yeah, that's
They're
okay.
keepers,
They're like
they're
this.
keepers and they taste good.
Yeah.
Well, they
Right
upped
now,
the
they're
limit
keepers.
too, so 10.
They
Oh,
want,
did you
they
catch
want
that
you
now?
to keep the little guys.
Yeah.
They want you to keep them.
So that's a good activity for a club,
Will you
because
do
it's
one
not
on
something
night
you do by
fishing?
yourself.
And that's what we need to do, we find an activity. And traditionally, that's been like sometime in July on a Friday night, so that people have enough time to get there.
Spend the night.
The problem that we had, we actually did it at a tournament on a yearly basis for a long time. And what I found out is that most people, even though it was like from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m., most people fished until midnight, went in and slept, and then fished for a few hours in the morning. Well, the night that I was there, we were catching so many walleye, we stayed up all night long. We were catching walleye all night long. The sun, I mean, we got to see the whole, you know, the whole shebang, the sun, you know, the sunrise and everything. And then we needed to drive home in 3 hours. Well, didn't have a campground, didn't have a hotel room.
Don't need one.
Well, my son-in-law who was fishing with me said, I'm good to drive, I'm wide awake. And as soon as he sat down in my truck, he fell asleep. Okay, so I drove home. Yeah, it was a long, torturous drive home.
Sounds about right. You don't realize how tired you are until you.
What's that?
You don't realize how tired you are until you. sit down.
Exactly. Longer, yeah, about an hour into the drive home, you start going.
Yep.
We decided to be more careful, and we've had some club activities up there in July usually, because it seems to be good, mid-July. But we usually stop around midnight or so.
And there's cabins up there they probably rent at Fruitland.
Book them in advance.
Yeah.
Book them in advance. Yeah, Lee, I was supposed to have been at one August 9th and 10th, and then COVID hit. And I mean, I got COVID. And now it's just this last August, after coming back from Alaska, I got COVID. Probably in Alaska. Anyway, so we had to cancel. I was going to take my brother and cousin up. But, so yeah, tell you what, is there any other club business that we need to hit?
I'll try to send out a little thing that just says what each officer kind of does and things like that. And then next, if you're interested, ping us back, and I'm sure one of the people who are currently on the e-board will nominate you for what you're looking to do.
Yeah, all help is welcome. Again, it's not a huge, probably right now, when we were doing tournaments, the worst job was tournament director. We were at a tournament and then had a picnic, and one of the original founding members of the club walked up and said, oh, I was one of the founding members of Rocky Mountain Anglers, saw our big banner. And I said, oh, hi, I'm the tournament director. And he goes, oh, so everybody's pissed at you. It's like, yeah. Yeah, okay, everybody wishes that the tournaments were done differently. So that's one reason about, that it's kind of nice not to have tournaments, but have activities every month where we can get out with different people on our boats. And that's the intent.
So when you guys have tournaments, do you allow lead weights down inside the walleyes?
No, our tournaments, have you seen the memes though about Ohio fish tacos and showed the taco with like 20-ounce weights? We didn't go by weight, we went by length. And so it's like,
there you go,
you get points based on the length of the fish.
Because I would love to see people getting their kids out there. I try to get my kids out there, and I know sometimes it can be a challenge for some people. So.
Well,
that's a Queen Mary.
we have had some activities where we've gone up, like I said, we matched up non-boaters with boaters, and I was able to take a couple of people out this year. That was a lot of fun. Badger has done likewise. It's been good, but we want to do it more this coming year. Well, if there's nothing else, fishing reports. Is there any way that we can pull up that Facebook?
If you wanted to pull up Scheels, I can show you where I caught those fish.
Yeah, okay, just a second. Let's kill some lights. This was taken on a GoPro. You'll notice Dell and I are on board the boat. I don't know if we've got any sound.
I don't think it'll play.
Oh, maybe it will. Yeah, let's kill the rest of the lights. Skip's on the boat. We got into a boil out of bullfrog, and it was about 30 yards all around the boat, and it went for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Look at that water boiling.
We had 2 nights in a row just like this. We went out the third night, not a single one. Look at the boat.
Wait, where's this?
What do you guys do?
Those heavy Castmaster fights.
Okay.
So what you do is you're just casting out, pulling like a Castmaster or something heavy and shiny.
Okay.
back through them, and then hit it. And you, once you get the fish on board the boat, you just get the hook loose, throw the fish on the floor, and cast it in. You get as many onto the floor of the boat as you can. So that was an awful lot of fun. That's me at the back of the boat.
I've been down there a dozen times. That's the first time I ever got into a boil. That was really fun.
There's no limit on striper. No limit on striper. Oh, do you want to pull up Google Earth? And where you're talking about?
We got pull up Schofield real quick and pull up the island.
Schofield, okay.
I like it here because there's not a lot of people that go out on it, and so it's not very crowded, and it's a good fishery.
Some years ago, they stopped sterile walleye in there, but I don't know how they did. I don't know if they made it.
I don't know about the walleye, but there's big wipers in there, like pretty good sized wipers.
They just killed that, they pull walleye.
Zoom in where the island is, the front of the island, the bottom half of the island. Okay.
So right here.
Yeah. So about 100 yards from this side of the island, the bottom side of the island, straight back down, and about 100 yards on each side of the island, there's a big pool of rainbow trout right there. And we were catching 18, 19-inch rainbows all day.
Wow.
And we were Schofield, and we were just using squids, and then trolling some shine, some white rapallas.
You ever tried flatfish with trout?
Schofield?
I haven't tried. I have some. I haven't tried them in a while.
I like flatfish.
So this is yesterday Deer Creek boat ramp. I'll show you how low that is. It's got about 30 yards at the end of that ramp, and then
That's the island boat ramp?
No.
that's the island boat ramp.
Oh, this is the island? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the way up there.
That looks like deer.
Last time I was up there,
That
we
is Deer
had 4
Creek.
feet of ramp in the water. Oh, look, I see no water.
So a couple of weeks ago, I saw some guy still launching his boat off the rocks, and he was backing his boat all the way down. But now you can't even get
Stuck,
there.
dude, in
Just one thing on Deer Creek, they got a new, they have a new person over the Deer Creek, DNR, and they will write you tickets if you leave any boats, even off season, you'll get a ticket if you leave it anywhere except for parking places. If you pull off the ramp over, even in March, they'll give you a ticket because they've been writing the tickets since been leaving their trucks on the ramps. That's 2 weeks ago.
I'm glad they're doing that.
Huh?
I'm glad they're doing
Did
that.
you get one?
No. But I hate when
Off
people
season,
park-
I didn't think it'd matter, but he's a brand new guy. His name's Brian, and he will give you a ticket. And anyway,
That's Wallsburg, right?
No, this
No,
is
I see.
if you're going out of the south ramp, the main ramp, then you just go to the right there.
Yeah, that's Wallsburg Bay.
Is that Wellsburg? Okay, yeah, that's it. It was really low. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it leads up towards where on the highway, that's where the turnoff to Wallsburg goes. So, okay. Can I get do we have anything else you wanted to show, Badger?
I did.
Okay. Motion to, do you have?
You know what, I have a story about that eagle fishing net. When I designed these nets, we looked at that handle, and we looked at booster handle. And we decided to go with booster because they could really throw it out in one hand and hold the rod in the other. You can't. So the guy from Eagle was there at ICAST, the big fishing show in Las Vegas. And he was there, and I said, how can you say that's one hand? It's not one hand. He said, yeah, I can do it with one hand. I said, do it. And he couldn't, because you got to pull it while you're doing this. And it'll extend, And they won in 2013, they won the most innovative product. So 2014, we went to ICAST and had this, these solar extension and stuff, but the nets, I walked up to him and I challenged the guy. And he says, okay, we'll have a contest. And I threw mine out, it went out about 12 feet in 1 second. Damn, we greased it, the inside piece. And they never gave us a look, nobody did. So it was just a dead horse. They won it, we didn't, and we struggled it for a year, and I finally shut it down after a couple of years. So I'm gonna try it again. Not I can, but the guy just put his head down and walked away, he couldn't say anything. You wanna see a fast net, not in the parking lot? It's too big to bring in front of Scheels.
Okay, here we go. Blast these out.
Your numbers.
Okay, this we'll do. We'll start out with the deadly 6-pack of Panther Martins. Last 4 numbers: 0055.
What is it? What's
0055.
Holy cow, I ain't never won anything in my whole life.
Well, I think everybody's gonna win something tonight. So
Don't tell me that, make me feel important.
hey, that's a good one. That's a good 6-pack.
That's a good one.
Okay. Okay, what are we gonna do for this one? Let's do this one. And I actually won one of these one time when I caught fish on it. So 0046.
Hey, that's me! The next one. This is my dad, you can't use this one.
Okay, pick the next one. We'll do another one. This one's in clear with blue eyes. 0048.
You, oh, come on.
Hey, Kate, keep an eye on my ticket right there, too. Okay.
I got a great deal for somebody. Show me how to catch a fish in Utah and I'll give you these.
0059.
Yeah.
That's been an absolute disaster.
And this one here, 0051. That's you? You have it. You can put it on your little pole you got now. Okay, we'll do the last one of the Rapala 0045. That's you. That's you. Oh. Okay, we'll do wedding ring 0049.
Hi! Come on, Brady, it's your turn.
Did you put your name in there?
Here's the other wedding ring. This one's silver. 0053.
Right here.
Oh.
Did you like your number?
Wait, all your numbers here. Put it over there so we don't get it mixed up. Okay, here's the strawberry special here. Like 0054.
That's me.
There you go.
No.
0050.
Hey!
Okay, and this one is, I love this thing. Put all your
Oh, that's-
Jars.
all your jars in
I
there.
have the smaller one, they were great.
Yeah, this is great. I feel like a fishing businessman with your little carry case. 0060. Yeah, there you go.
Actually needed that.
And then this is a $50 gift card, so this is a big deal. Yeah, this is a good one.
Jeez.
Okay, 0052. Whoa! Hey! Hey guys, that's it.
You saw your number?
If anybody wants to buy a Rocky Mountain Anglers hat, we have them here. They're $15. And that covers the cost of the, we're not making money on it.
What is it?
It's a Rocky Mountain Angler hat. It's our logo.
Yeah.
We used to have flex fit ones like this.
I'll buy one.
Yeah, so we, these are the 4 colors that we currently have available. Name your color, like the khaki,
The blue
the
one.
blue, okay.
Good choice.
Can I owe
Good
you?
choice.
You need to talk to Nell about money.
No, I'll give you the money. How much is it?
15.
Okay.
They're nice hats.
They, just
Can
have
I
hair,
have a
have to
motion
years.
to end the meeting
Short and wash with those guys every once in a while.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, and I forgot to share with you, the reason why I have this on, cast it thousands of times in foul, I gave myself carpal tunnel. All right, have a great time, guys, we'll see you next month.
Don't go away.
We hadn't heard about the first. I'm wondering
Oh, the focus thing. Yeah. So you're it's kind of a combination of that smile blade and the focus thing.
Yeah. Let's get on next week. There you go. I'll do it next week if you want.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I want to talk to you before you.
Yeah. I didn't know the starvation before it gets any colder.
Yeah, I was up there.
You were asking about what to throw in the boils?
I just stayed through one. I fished at night. And they were everybody there, Rangers going, I just pulled up something in the back of my car.
But they're all solid metal, so they're very much like
Yeah.
Bassmasters, except
You can't get a boat in there now.
Not now. Yeah.
Yeah, in the spring. Hang on, I'm gonna get his phone number here, and then I'll get yours.
I've been waiting to go up there since last time I went there, I got stuck. And it's an expensive trip.
Well, especially with 450, you got 6
Ben says that, I told her I need to stop. They had 2 on their shelf. And then I lost them.
I'll come right over.
What is your name, sir?
Did you put your phone number in there?
They should take my boat out and go to some catch a walleye.
I've never
this
caught
year?
fishing on those casts.
Where at?
Starvation. I don't care where we're going.
Did I show you this?
That's your
You want to see
phone
the
number?
starvation I caught?
You sit by the bridge?
I won the data.
That's right, I go the bridge, all the pylons.
So many.
Yeah, I do a diamond.
Robert
in the
McKay.
pylon.
We had a rainstorm and went under the bridge and we caught perch, walleye,
Oh, I got
nine
paid
walleye,
for
perch,
Keller, K-A-L-L-E-R.
black crappie, and all at once, never moved.
That's why I like my boat. If it rains, I don't have to worry about it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got a big
Yes, let's go.
You'll know my boat because.
No, it was a big one.
You can rob a bank.
It's a lot cheaper that way.
That's expensive. You want to go to starvation? Let me show you what we got. Just a couple licorice and
Some
crappie.
stuff in the cash is still low.
I'm building a race car right now for my life.
Are you? I gotta show you my biggest walleye deer pick ever. Mine's like 25 inches. There, did you? Which skin on?
children, and the boat stopped right down by the.
There is.
Yeah.
You guys, it's simple, but we couldn't really go for a while. Picked up, put the hole in one of the legs.
What am I doing wrong? What can I do?
You know, the smelly jelly ones. I had one of those, the dash my boat and it tipped over and it was like 100. And it melted and got outside of it, like my catch tray, where you throw all your lures, it was just full that And then it got cool, right, and went back solid. Well, no, it was not. It wouldn't come out of
When you see
dash.
tell me when you fish.
Have those diamond plate things.
Those are beautiful fish.
Yeah.
I don't have any sense.
It's my favorite.
Dude, I went through a half a bottle of bait crawfish on the classic. It's just because I smell bad.
But I want to show you what we just caught. We just we can have it.
You're in last year's pictures.
No, these are this year.
Oh, you got Scheels.
So let's see now.
I don't have a book. You're gonna have to.
We'll check that record. Well, see if you see August of 22, August 22.
Of course, I got some bad on
Let me touch it.
Okay, next.
Let me touch it. That's a.
August of 22, what's that?